Good morning. This is Amber Beyer. I chose GarageBand. The last school I taught at, each student had a one-to-one program where they received a MacBook Pro, and also the teachers had that. That was really awesome. It helped us communicate with students, give assignments, receive assignments, and then obviously help facilitate some cool projects and experimentation within the classroom. I taught choir there, and I also taught general music and beginner guitar. And I mainly used it in the general music classroom and guitar. GarageBand has tutorials that can direct you to how to play guitar chords, strumming, hold it, look up chord charts. And they also had a piano tutorial, but we didn't have that kind of program we were teaching at our school, but that was neat. I also used GarageBand to give out different projects like create your own recording. It enables students to basically layer tracks upon tracks and go within those tracks and adjust the volume, the levels, even change up the instrumentation. So like if it's a drum kit, you can take away cymbal or add more cymbal, more kick drum. I also would assign things like learning about styles of music, so write your own rap, create a background recording while you perform it for the class. Or if you don't feel like performing live, you could record your rap and then share it via your own computer up on the screen. I also did a similar thing with like a blues tune. Create your own blues lyrics, perform it with a background track you create on GarageBand. You could even go in to implement it by helping students imitate different styles they learn about, or learning about form in music, create an ABA form on GarageBand, dynamics, tempo. Another thing is just put more parameters on their own original recordings. So they must incorporate their voice at least twice, or they must incorporate a certain set of instruments, or it has to be so long. It has to meet different standards of dynamics again, or that kind of thing, and then perform them for the class, let the class listen to them, maybe even make it anonymous and have the kids try and figure out whose recording it is. That's kind of fun. I never used it in the choir classroom, but I can see how a band instructor or choir instructor could utilize it by having students take their own instrument, voice, clarinet, whatever, and record it, and then I would be able to hear their progress, how they're doing on their own individually away from the group, and allow them to like express themselves in their own style and their own flair. That could also be a cool group project. I found it fairly easy to use. There were certain sounds and loops that were not available to us. We just had kind of like a beginner launch program. I guess you could request all the loops and sounds to be downloaded, or acquire money to do that for just your music students. So that made my students a little frustrated at times. I also currently don't have GarageBand. I don't teach full time anymore. I don't have an Apple computer at home, and it's just not something I even work with right now. So it probably has even changed in the last 3 years since I've been teaching full time. I do have an iPhone, and GarageBand is on the iPhone, but it's structured, it's laid out in a different way. You can still create tracks, make your own songs, save them, play them back, add your own voice, or record other background noises. This morning I played around with it and recorded my son crying in the background as one of the loops. So it's fun. It's another way for students to take their learning in their own hand and it's also cool because programs like that, obviously they're more skilled for students. They're not like the kind of programming an actual professional audio engineer might use. I understand that. But it kind of gives students a glimpse into other musical careers that are out there. They sometimes think that, you play in a band or you sing if you're a musician, and there's other formats to that. And there are students in schools I've been in who are kind of looking for that outlet of something they're good at. So maybe they're not a singer, maybe they're not a performer, maybe they're not playing an instrument, but they're creative and they'd like to tap into that, this would be another outlet for that. And I've seen that in the general music classroom, because the way that the school I was at did it, these were not students who were in choir or band typically that were in my general music, and they didn't play an instrument, and they really kind of had snubbed their nose at music. Wasn't their thing. And this kind of allowed me to see another side of them, so that was cool too. So it might be even a great, just say, open up GarageBand and experiment and see what you come up with. Give them no instruction as how to use it and see what they figure out. Some kids are really good at that, better than we are as adults. But also be kind of a fun, put your personality or an introduction of yourself to the classroom into this recording. Make this recording a symbol of how you define yourself. Students really kind of latch onto that, if your life was a soundtrack, what would it sound like? So that's kind of fun too. Thank you.